Hello and welcome to Virtual Encounters. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. When we think of Indian tennis, one name will always be on top, and that will be of Sania Mirza. She's with us, joining us live on DD News and DD India. She's winner of 6 Grand Slam titles, 14 medals, including 6 gold medals. Also recipient of Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, Arjuna Award, whatnot, 42 WTA titles. Sanya, welcome to DD News and DD India. Appreciate you taking out time. First of all,
Thank
how have you been doing and how are you dealing with these tough times?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's been I think challenging for everybody in different
Yeah.
ways. The pandemic I think has
Yeah.
affected different people in different ways, but I think that today we live in a time where we are starting to appreciate the small things in life. We're starting to appreciate going out for a cup of chai. We are starting to appreciate
Yeah.
just breathing without a mask in a park. So I think that there are things like that we are starting to appreciate. And I think at this point, I think, like I said, everybody had their challenges, and so did I. But I think that the most important thing is that we're healthy and we're safe and we have a roof and we've got food to eat. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been difficult times for the entire world the last few months.
Yeah, but Sanya, sports persons are mentally very, very tough, very, very strong. They are trained to handle difficult situations. But how did you prepare yourself to be without your husband, Shoaib Malik? And also give us some positivity. How did you deal with that situation?
I think you're right. I think sports people go through extreme pressure situations throughout their career and throughout their lives when they're competing. And I think that they are used to sort of handling a high pressured situation. But this was a situation that is difficult for anybody, sports person or not. And I think
Yeah.
that um, I think sometimes people also tend to forget that sports people are also human beings, which have the normal sort of feelings and mental health issues and stuff like that. Even
Yeah.
sports people have that.
Yeah.
Sure, they might be better at handling it, but at the end of the day, they do have those anxiety. I had certain anxiety attacks, for no reason. I didn't even know why I was having them, but it was obviously because the uncertainty around
Yeah.
in the world. So I just think that it was very difficult for us, for for Izhan and I, my baby, that for 7 months we were not able to see Shoaib. We got stuck in two different
Yeah.
countries, and it was challenging. Of course, as a marriage also, but also it was challenging for my child, for our child, to not be able to see his father at such a crucial juncture of his life when he's really growing up, and
Yeah.
he's 2 in a few days. And to be able to meet him and to communicate and to learn from him, because they're the most impressionable at this age. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but the fact is that like I said, we have learned to appreciate small things. We will learn to appreciate going to the gym. We've learned to appreciate being able to sit with friends whenever you feel like. We've learned to appreciate being around family. And so these are things that you've learned to appreciate. And I think that it's unfair if you only look at the negatives, because there were people in much
Yeah.
worse situations than we were.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
so that's how we dealt with it. We just
Yeah.
tried to be as positive as possible. We
Hmm.
tried to just look at the positives and look forward to meeting each other. I mean, I came to Dubai a month and a half ago. So we saw each other after like 7 months, which was amazing. And not
Yeah.
just for me, but also for my son. So yeah, it was difficult, but we got through it.
Sanya, you talked about your son. How's he? He'll turn 2 in few days. What are his birthday plans?
Yeah, what time flies. I mean, now
Yeah.
I understand when my mom used to tell me that you guys were just little babies and now you guys are 25, 30, and I used to
Yeah.
not understand that. But I mean, he's already 2. I feel like I literally just had him, and it's already been 2 years, but it's been an amazing ride. And he's a very, very, touch wood, he's a very happy baby. So he's made my life quite easy.
Great, great. Sanya, from tennis court to marriage and then motherhood, share with us how has been the journey?
I mean, it's not really a journey. It's part of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are saying everybody gets married and has kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everybody comes back to doing what they do, especially as women. But I think that was one of the reasons that I came back, was because for me, I feel that as a woman, many times you feel that, oh, maybe you can't have it all. If you have a marriage, you cannot have a successful
Yeah.
career. If you have a baby, then you cannot have an athletic career, or you can't come back. And the fact is that women can have it all. And
Yeah.
for me, that's why it was one of my motivations to come back to playing tennis, is because I think there are a lot of people that look up to us as sports people, and it would be amazing for me to set an example for young women and young girls, that just because you have a baby or you get married or you put on 23 kilos like I did, it doesn't mean your world ends.
Yeah.
It just means a baby is a new beginning to life. It's not the end of your life. And it's okay if you want to still follow your dreams. You must follow your dreams, because that's, for me, I got my inspiration from my child to come back to
Mm.
playing. And I think everybody should do what they love, really. So it
Yeah.
wasn't really something that, it was not like a planned journey. And I think that if any man gets to do it, every woman should get to do it too, to the same thing, have a marriage, have a career,
Yeah.
have a baby, or whatever.
Mm. But Sanya, there are so many amazing athletes who became mothers and came back. You are one of them, and Serena Williams is the biggest example. Azurenka is another one. Tatiana, and but what motivated you? In fact, who motivated you to make a comeback for after almost 2 years?
I think it was within, more than anything. It was I had that inspiration. I felt like I wasn't done. I felt like I still had tennis left in me, and obviously I was right, because I came back and I won the first tournament that I played. I derived that inspiration, like I said, from my son. He's too young to understand now, but hopefully one day when he understands, he'll understand the meaning, that even after having me, my mother didn't forego her dreams. And that's the person I want him to know me as, that someone who always went after her dreams. And that's an example you want to set for your child as a parent. So he gave me that inspiration. My
Mm.
yeah, and as always, my family was always behind my decisions, so whether it was my husband or my parents or my sister. So yeah, it was, I think most of it was within myself. I think it
Okay.
was I always wanted to make that comeback.
And now you are ripping and running again. We'll see you on court soon.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for this pandemic to just settle
Yeah.
down a little bit, because it's difficult as with the toddler to travel the world with these
Yeah.
in these times, right? So actually, I've been training and everything. It's just about getting back to on the court. And so I'm just waiting. Maybe hopefully in a couple of months, when things will settle down a little bit more, and when there's a bit more certainty, because I cannot really leave him and go. He's very little to just leave him and go for
Yeah,
like an
that's right.
unlimited time, and I cannot travel with him week after week on a plane. It's
Mm,
difficult for me to do that. So I not only have to think of myself as an athlete, but I also have to think of myself as a parent. So
that's right.
that is the reason, right now, this second, I'm not playing.
Mm. And also, Sania, motherhood must have taught you so many things in life. I mean, biggest would have been to be very, very patient.
Yeah, I think that motherhood, the most important thing that it taught me is that there is a selfless love that we have to
Yeah.
give. And
Yeah.
we don't realize that until you have a child, that
Yeah.
that especially as athletes, we are so bothered all our lives thinking about ourselves, about our warm up and our routines and our matches and our practice and our diet, and everything revolves around us. And then you have a child, and automatically it doesn't revolve around you anymore. It revolves around the
Yeah.
child.
Uh,
And it's not that you have to make it, at least I didn't, you don't have to make an effort for that to happen. It just happens. It's the most
yeah.
natural instinct. So that's what it has taught me, that I had a selfless love inside me, which I didn't know that I had, that I would want so much for a little human being, that more for that human being than I want for anybody in this world, including myself. And Yeah, I think it does teach you patience. I mean, if you're a parent, you'll know that the
Yeah.
patience part is something that has to be there. But it also comes pretty naturally, at least to me. I didn't feel like, oh my god, I had to learn how to be patient. I think it just kind of comes with your own child. You just become patient. I mean, it's pretty amazing, because you don't know that you have that capacity to evolve as a person. And once you become a parent, mother or father, you begin to evolve into another better human being, I think.
Yeah, Sanya, I can totally relate with you. I also have a 3-year-old daughter, and I cannot talk to anyone over the phone when she's around. So I can totally relate. But Sanya, what is your goal now as a professional? Are you setting any goal, or you just want to enjoy your tennis? Like MS Dhoni says, he just want to enjoy his cricket. No goals, nothing at all. Till the time he feels comfortable, he feels fit. He'll play cricket. In your case,
To be
till the time, yeah,
Yeah, to be honest, I've always set very short-term goals. My short-term goal when I came back was to try to just be able to compete in a full tournament, because you don't know how physically you're going to adapt and how physically your body is going to change after you have a baby.
yeah,
So I always set short-term goals for me. Hopefully, I mean, one of my goals when I came back was obviously to play at my fourth Olympics, and that was something that I feel is probably, when I look back in 20 years, if I look back and I don't win that medal, is probably the only thing that's missing from what I would have loved to achieve. We came very close last time, and we came fourth, and we lost in the bronze medal match.
yeah.
But so for me, definitely Olympics is something that I am thinking about. Hopefully, well, when I come back, and hopefully it happens next year as well. So I'm thinking about that. And I think that as far as enjoying goes, I mean, I think I can totally relate to what MS is saying. In terms of, I think I have always enjoyed my tennis, because the minute I didn't enjoy it, I didn't play.
Yeah,
And that's exactly how I was. And I think that's actually a secret to sort of really being successful as well. You have to enjoy the pain, and you have to enjoy the monotony of it. You have to enjoy the wins, you have to even enjoy the losses to some extent.
yeah.
So I think that I think I can understand what he's trying to say. And yeah, sure, like I said, I'm still fit, I feel good, and hopefully I still have a few more years of tennis left in me.
And also, Sanya, you played, we go a little back, you played your last singles tournament in 2012, if I'm not wrong, and you then preferred playing doubles only, and then you did tremendously well. From 2012, you won 5 of your 6 titles after 2012. And was it a well thought of decision to play only doubles and leave
Yeah,
singles?
it was yeah, it was more than well thought. It was more of a necessity at that point. I had had three
Because of
surgeries,
injury.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I had had three surgeries. I had had two ankle brace injuries, and my body was just not able to cope after playing about 10 years of singles and doubles. And I was I felt that even when I made the decision to stop playing singles, I was about 70 or 80 in the world. To put it in context, nobody has ever reached 70 or 80 in the world from the
That's,
subcontinent as a woman. So
that's
just
right.
to put it in context, I was still pretty good. I was still going to make the Grand Slam. But to me being just there wasn't enough. For me, I'm too much of a perfectionist to do that, because I was not able to train how I wanted. I was not able to put in every effort. Like I felt that I was not supposed to be 70, 80. I felt my game was supposed to be much better, but my body was not allowing it.
Okay.
So it was one of the hardest decisions of my life, because it's very difficult when you're forced to stop something and you still know you have the potential to be there. And I was top 30 in the world, and I was there for a few years. So for me, in singles, I felt that I still had that potential, but I was not able to do it because of my body. So we made a conscious decision as a team. It took me about 6 months to make that decision, actually. And we made that conscious decision, and we said we have to change our goals, because we have to
Yeah,
adapt. So it's either about playing for another year and getting injured and having
that's
another
right.
surgery and maybe making it to top 30 again in singles, or focusing all your attention, because when you're playing that much singles, it's difficult to
Yeah.
become number one in the world in doubles, because
Mm,
there's too many matches, your body can't take it.
yeah.
Or then make another goal and say, I want to become number one in the world in doubles. And that was something that I thought that my body would allow me to do.
Mm,
And hence that decision was made. And obviously, in hindsight, it was the best decision that I could have
yeah.
made. I mean, I was there for, over 90 weeks. I was number one in the world. I finished 2 year ends with number one. So it was the most, it was an amazing decision.
Sanya, every sports person has highs and lows in their career. Can you share your best moments on the court? Maybe partnership with Martina Hingis, where you won back-to-back 3 titles, world number one, or anything else you want to share? And best moments on the court?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm fortunate enough to say that it's difficult for me to pick my best moments. I think it's a good problem to have. And whether it was winning 6 gold medals for India,
Yeah.
whether it was representing India at the Olympics for the first time, whether it was winning a medal at the Asian Games when I was 15 years old,
Yeah.
whether it was winning my first Grand Slam with a fellow Indian, Mahesh Bhupati, whether
Yeah.
it was being the first woman ever to win a WTA title. I mean, there are so many that I can come up with, whether it was beating Kuznetsova when she was the reigning US Open champion. She was 3 or 4 in the world at the time. Those were some of the biggest moments of my career and of my life. And obviously winning Wimbledon with Martina, us having that crazy streak where we didn't lose matches for over 40
Yeah.
matches. I think it was
Yeah.
I don't even remember, it was like 41 or 42 matches we didn't lose for like almost half a year. We didn't lose a match. Whether it was becoming number 1 in the world. And so I think that, like I said, I'm fortunate enough to say that I've had all these moments which I can look back and say, I really can't pick 5. I mean, I have or one. I have to say that there are all these moments that made my career very special.
Great, rightly put forward by you, Sanya. And you want to share your tough times too, your lows maybe in your professional career?
Yeah, of course. I think that every athlete goes through lows, especially the longer the career, the more the lows will happen.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
where it's pretty impossible to be peaking for a 20-year career. And I mean, I turned pro in 2003. We're in 2020 now, so it's very difficult to say, okay, I was peaking it throughout the year. No, I mean, there were times when I had my wrist injury in 2008. I thought that my career was over at that time, and I had my surgery in 2009 end. I thought that it was done. I could barely even brush my own hair. I went through depression. I had a lot of mental issues, but also physical issues. And then I got married. My husband was the one who actually kind of inspired me and said, you should give it a try if your wrist is feeling better. I came back, and that year I won 2 medals at the Commonwealth Games. So I mean, things change, and always I think you have to adapt to situations. So I mean, I went through very low phases in my career and my life too, and like everybody else, like every athlete. I always tell people that you're very lucky that when you have a bad day, only you or your family know about it. When I have a bad day or sports people have a bad day, the entire world knows about it. And then they have a comment about it and they write about it as well. So I think it's an office job, but it's a high pressured office job. So it's very normal to have lows and highs.
Yeah, but tough times, Sanya, don't last, but tough people do. But Sanya, you are saying that you are taking baby steps in the sense that you want to set short-term goals. Can we say that your next goal may be to participate in Olympics and then Tokyo next year, and then maybe try and win a medal?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that, Olympics is something that is every athlete's dream. And just like anybody else, I was able to compete in 3 of them. We came very close last time. And it was one of the most painful experiences of my career to not be able to win that medal. And even after having those 2 shots at that point. So that time, many people asked me, will you, it's okay next time, and I was like, no, there's not going to be a next time, because I knew that I was going to have a baby, and, I wanted to move on in life as well. And I didn't know if I was going to make a comeback. So today, after having a baby and after having a 2-year-old, I've made my comeback, and I've put myself in a position to compete again. And obviously, Olympics is something that was on my mind when I was making the comeback. I won't say that it was the only goal, but it was definitely there at the back of my head as a tennis player. So most definitely, I think if that happens, if Olympics happens, I'm able to compete there. Obviously, I'll be really excited to put myself in that position to be able to win a medal again.
Right. All the best for Olympics. And Sanya, I don't know if it's too early to ask you, but maybe 10 years down the road, you want to take up coaching and give back to the sport at the grassroots level?
I already have a tennis academy,
Yeah, I know
which is
that.
the
Yeah.
Sanya Mirza Tennis Academy. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm already in our own way. We give back there. We've got a international facility over there. We've got 12 courts. It's spread out on 4 acres. It's it's a facility that I dreamt that I could have had when I was a child. But we grew up on very different in very different circumstances. So I think that I don't know. if I'm going to coach or I'm not going to coach, but I definitely think I'll be associated with the sport in some way or the other, because I think tennis is part of who I am, and it's very difficult for me to take it out of my DNA now.
And also, Sanya, you are the best person to answer this question. How has sports changed over the years, with several government schemes also coming up? One example is Khelo India Games. When you started playing and now when you see in 2020, what do you want to say? How the sports has changed?
See, I think that definitely we are a more sports aware nation now than we were 25 years ago, and I think
Okay.
that having hosted Commonwealth Games has given a huge boost to us
Yeah.
as well. Um, I always said this, and people always were like, no, no, because I think a lot of times people don't want to accept reality. But I said, we're not a sporting nation. It doesn't make us a sporting nation just because we follow Olympics for 1 week of every
Hmm.
4 years. We don't become, we are sure, we are a cricketing nation. We are a complete cricket crazy nation, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because my entire family is cricket crazy as well, including myself. But the fact is that other sports never really got that exposure, so to say. And I think after the Commonwealth Games as well, a lot of people realized that, wow, we've got champions in other sports as well, not just in cricket. And I think that was a huge boost. And definitely we are more aware. I think that the fact that we've got so many girls playing sport, and so many, I can talk about that because that was
Yeah.
something that never happened 25 years ago. And now we've got all these girl champions who are coming out, and outside of probably the few cricketers, our biggest sports people are women, whether it is in badminton, whether it's in boxing, whether it's in wrestling, or whether it's in tennis. I mean, a huge
Yeah.
a huge majority of them are women sports people who have brought laurels to the country. So I think that it's definitely changed. I think that the government has played a role in trying to bring more awareness. There's more, when you switch on the TV, there is more other sports shown on TV as well. I think that's very important. I very many times I see badminton being played. I see table tennis, which used to never happen before. Things like that as well. And there are various government schemes that have happened. We have become more health conscious as well, with the whole fitness campaign that has been launched by the government as well. So there are many things that have changed for the better. I still think
Yeah.
we have some ways to go, but yeah, we are moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. Rightly said by you, we are moving in a right direction. But Sanya, in someone's career, especially sports persons, criticism is part and parcel of the game. And now, since social media has emerged very, very stronger, and now criticism is very, very easy. How do you deal with your critics? I mean, you you try to give them back, you ignore, or you tend
No,
to,
I don't
you don't
deal with
answer?
them, because actually I don't deal with them because if every athlete starts to sit and answer back to the critics, and like starts to sit, and or every person who's in the media, I think that if they start to do that, they will lose their mind. Honestly, you have to find a sanity, and you have to find your
Yeah.
own sanity. And today with social media, especially in the last 7-8 months, there's so much more hatred. I don't know if that's me or everybody notices that I think there's a lot more frustration around. There's a lot more people are a little bit more angrier, because I think because of the situation as well. You just have to. I always take social media with a pinch of salt, or even a fist of salt. Sometimes, the good and the bad. You just have to sort of take everything and take it lightheartedly. Having said that, I don't say that it doesn't affect you at all, because we are also humans. So there will be a day or two, maybe in a few months, where I will feel a little bit more angry or hurt by a comment or by someone. But outside of that, I think if you're being true to yourself, you're giving your best and you're playing, and it's only the people that are close to you that really matter.
Right. Sanya, last two questions before we end it. How's Shoaib Malik? You watch cricket more after marriage, or he has started following tennis more after marriage?
No, not really. I mean, we've almost been married. We're going to be married 11 years in a few
Yeah,
months.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
I know, I
long
know.
time. And I
I
think
know.
that for me, like I said, I came from a family of cricketers.
Yeah.
I came from a complete family of cricketers. My uncle played Ranji.
Yeah.
My dad used to play cricket.
Yeah.
My dad's cousin was actually ex-Indian captain of Test captain. So I mean, we've had a lot of, and now my sister is also married into a cricketing family. She married Mohammad Azharuddin's son. So we have cricket all over. In our house, there's always sport playing, and in one TV or the other, there's some kind of sport as well. So.
Okay. And how's he as a father?
He's really good. He's pretty hands-on. I think that Izhan has grown a lot in the last 7 months because the growth spurt is very high right after they turn 1, and suddenly they're talking and they're saying so many things. But the most amazing part is, and this is what I said, "Khoon khoon hota hai." Like there's a saying. When he saw his father after 7 months, he went straight to him. Like he would never go to people. He went straight to him. He didn't even he's obviously very close to me because he's around me a lot. He just went straight to him. He said, "Let's go. I'll go in the car," and he was like, "Car," and he just like held his hand and he just went away. So yeah, he's a pretty hands-on father, and now he's getting to spend so much time with him as well. So it's really good.
Yeah, so sweet. Last question, Sanya. What advice do you want to give to the sports persons who want to play sports professionally? No shortcuts and follow your dreams?
There's no shortcut in anything in life. That's the first thing I want to tell sports people or not. If you want to be good at something, you want to be successful, there is no shortcut. You have to work hard. You have to have a lot of dedication. You have to be very stubborn, because day after day you have to get up, especially sports people, and do the same thing every single day. You have to be ready to put in a lot of sacrifice. Staying time away from your family, to traveling by yourself, and all that stuff, and a lot of commitment. It's not a commitment that you make for 2, 3, 4 years. It's a commitment you make for 15 years, 20 years, like any other job. So yeah, it takes a lot of all those things, and so there's definitely no shortcuts to anything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a word of advice coming from Sanya Mirza. Thank you so much, Sanya, for your time. You were superb with your answers, and we hope to see you on court soon because you look the best there. Thank you so much, Sanya.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.
ये विशाल है ना, इसका सब प्रॉपर